Hi everyone, welcome back to another review video. Today this is gonna be for Against the Current's new song, Weapon. And this one also has a music video that's coming with it, so I'm excited to dive in and let's do it. Oh. Ooh, nice. Oh, she's so pretty. That riff is pretty nice though. We all know I love a good riff. Oh? 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 Okay, that seems like that last frame seemed like it was a teaser for something. I don't know what though. Aye, this is cool. Honestly, I must admit, I am not a huge Against the Current fan in the sense of that I've been listening to so many of their songs and I've been loving them like crazy. Because, to be honest, that's not the case. And that doesn't mean that I don't think that they're great musicians or that they have good songs. Because I do enjoy Against the Current songs, or like the ones I've listened to, but it's not clicked in the same way for me that it has with many other bands. But this one, Weapon and That Won't Save Us. So the last two tracks they dropped, they've been connecting with me a lot more. I don't know, maybe because this has more of like the rock spirit in it, and that's just very much the kind of music I gravitate towards. Especially recently, my whole like music taste has gotten a bit heavier as well. I've been listening to loads and loads of Bring Me. So this kind of, yeah, that's more like up my alley, and I really think this is super cool, and I would like to dive into the lyrics for Weapon now, because this was an absolute bop. Okay, so I've just pulled the lyrics up on screen so we can go through them bit by bit. Skimming over them like for a first time now, I get a strong sense from the song that it's kind of an internal battle, you facing struggles within yourself. There's definitely a sense of villainy in here. So yeah, and now I'll just go over what bits and pieces I feel like indicate that for me. Let's start out with verse 1. There's definitely a strong sense of loophole, being stuck in the cycle that you just can't break out of. You want to, but you can't really, because it has the always say it's the last time, a promise I can't keep. So you try, but it doesn't happen, no matter how hard you want it. And then the line, I lie straight through my teeth, obviously that's about lies, but also the way it's written, almost it evokes the image of like gritted teeth. So you're trying really hard not to lie, not to fall into the same traps over and over again, but it just happens every time and you can't do anything about that. I remember with the do it right with my intentions, that kind of implies that you do have a good intent, but the lies just keep on coming out. Maybe that's also about having like white lies, basically. White lies getting out of hand, that through what you say, what you do, you don't want anything bad to happen, but it just spirals out of hand. The good intentions you had turn sour. Then interesting, with the never break, but I still bend them. I wasn't sure what to make of the them, if them is the lies, like bending the truth maybe a little bit, or if it's about like people, like bending people, manipulating people in a sense through what you say and what you do, because this devil on my shoulder wants to pull me underneath. So the lies, the negative, the evil voice trying to draw you in. And obviously in the music video there was a lot of imagery with like underwater as well, and then everything was just really dark and red and black. That obviously plays into this whole like danger, devil, fire, destruction kind of image. Moving into the pre-chorus, this is kind of where more of the internal battle starts piling in for me with the meaning, because we have the sleepless nights through the ceiling, calm my head, yeah. So there's this internal battle keeping you awake, and what's really interesting is you're staring through the ceiling, not at the ceiling. Because normally you're like, I'm staring at the ceiling. That's a really common phrase, but you're staring through it. So almost as if you're saying, I'm staring at the night sky, trying to find some like clarity, direction, get rid of this chaos in my head, all these dark whispering voices, but you're just unable to. In the chorus, we start out with the red, so also not visually just highlighting it, but also actually saying it. I see red, that's obviously in an expression when you're just really angry, you just start seeing red, you black out and you just do stuff. And that usually doesn't end well. Also, just a little side note, am I the only one when I heard this, or like I read this, and I see red, red, that song pops into your head? Okay, I don't know, oh god, that was like lockdown 2020 vibes right there. I was like, ooh, okay, that's the wrong context, let's get our head in order again and concentrate on what's actually happening in the song. Okay, a little side note there, getting sidetracked. So yeah, with the whole internal battle idea, I think that gets intensified here, especially with the I can't take the highs and the lows, saying that you're like okay, but you're just not okay because everything's like bubbling up inside of you, and you basically turn into this weapon, almost this anger at yourself, like why the fuck can't I get myself in order? And you become a weapon, so something dangerous, something damaging, but also something hard, you know? And that fits in nicely with the whole idea of you shooting them down, or like you pushing other people away, which very much comes through for me in the shoot them down till you end up alone. So through your thoughts, through your behavior, through that inner whispering voice, you take actions, you say things that will eventually isolate you. Now moving into verse 2, here the whole idea of you yourself being the villain really comes through. And I think that's so interesting because a lot of songs that like raise these kind of issues or like lies or something, they're a lot of times like the victim or someone that's moved out of a toxic situation or that's faced a situation where they were around toxic people, where they tell it from their perspective. But this is like from the villain's perspective, which I think is really, really interesting. Because in this second verse, what comes through like 100% is this burning realization of you are fucked up and you fucked up, like big time. And it's admitting that, and it's realizing that you are this person. Especially this all my sorry excuses really is this aspect of realizing the emptiness of excuses. Because a lot of times people will think that like their sorries, no matter how bad something was fucked up or how much they hurt someone, if they just say sorry, it'll all be gone. And it's not always that easy to forgive and forget, and sometimes you never forgive or forget something. And also then forgiving and forgetting is not the same thing either, but yeah, and I think it's so interesting that here that is admitted, like I am aware that what I'm gonna do now is just say sorry, say I didn't have any ill intentions, is not actually gonna change what happened. Then moving into the bridge, here we have an anaphora with the no I won't, and it basically has a very similar meaning with the no I won't go under, no I won't back down. So basically being like no I won't resign, which a little bit stands in contrast to verse 2 where you very much admitted the fault and you're like I can't really change anything about it, it just goes rogue every time. And now you're here like no, I'm not gonna fall prey to that every single time. But then again you have the other perspective with the bittersweet surrender. So once again being like okay, maybe I should give up because then I don't have to fight anymore. So it's really like this back and forth between wanting to be something, not being able to be that, beating yourself up over it, beating others up because you can't fulfill your intentions, your wishes, your whatnot. So it's really like this back and forth that it really intensifies here in this bridge. And the bridge ends with the "it's better now." So something has changed, either because you have like realized, okay, this is the situation, I can't change it, or this is the situation, I'm not gonna surrender to it and fall prey to it. So that's not exactly clear, but it's almost a shimmer of hopefulness in this bittersweet surrender. And then we have the outro, which basically just picks up a few lines from the chorus, except for the "all I am is a weapon." This seems very much like a conclusion at the end of the song. There's really a strong sense of resignation here at the end, where you accept this, and almost as if you're saying, I no longer have the intention of changing because it hasn't worked in the past. And what I think is really interesting here in the music video is that like she goes under in the water, and like the water just, you know, drains, and all that's left is the key. And that's like such a cliffhanger. I feel like the next song, or one of the next songs in the music video, is gonna pick up there again. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take this, because here there's like a lot of teasing with the under, drawn under, and then there was the water element that came in the music video. So maybe we're in more of a watery world again, because in this last music video we had a lot of fire. So really tying in the elements, so that's really interesting. And honestly, if Against the Current keep going like this, I think they have a high potential that I am going to start really enjoying them and really loving them. Alright everybody, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and I hope to see you in another video.